Most people think disease begins when symptoms appear. Pain, fatigue, a diagnosis. But biologically, that's not when disease starts. Disease begins much earlier, when damage quietly accumulates inside cells, while everything still looks normal. In this video, you'll understand why symptoms are a late signal, how disease develops silently over years, and why waiting for warning signs often means waiting too long. When do you think a disease actually starts? Most of us would say it begins when the symptoms show up. That first ache, that persistent fatigue, the abnormal test result that finally gives it a name. Before that moment, we assume everything is fine. We feel okay, so we must be okay, right? But biologically, this belief isn't just wrong. It's dangerously wrong. Disease does not begin with symptoms. It begins long before, deep inside your body, at the cellular level. Think about it this way. Symptoms are not the start of the fire. They're the smoke detector finally going off. By the time that alarm sounds, a fire has already been smoldering quietly, sometimes for years. Every single day, your cells face a barrage of damage. This is a normal part of life. From the food you eat, the air you breathe, to the simple act of generating energy, damage happens. What keeps you healthy isn't the absence of this damage, but your body's incredible, non-stop ability to repair it. When your repair systems are working well, damage gets cleared out, and your cells are renewed. You stay healthy. But what happens when that repair process starts to slow down? When repair can no longer keep up with the rate of damage, that damage starts to accumulate. At first, you don't feel a thing. Your body is a master of adaptation. Cells will try to adapt to the stress. Tissues will compensate for weakened areas. Organs will adjust their workload to pick up the slack. This is your body buying you time. It's an amazing, resilient system. But here's the critical point. Compensation is not repair. It's a temporary patch, a workaround. It's like one person on a team doing the work of two because their colleague is struggling. It can work for a while, but it's not sustainable. Over months, or even years, this silent, accumulating cellular damage begins to cross a critical threshold. Inflammation that was once temporary and helpful becomes chronic and destructive. Your cellular power plants, the mitochondria, start to lose their efficiency, leading to a subtle decline in energy production. Cells just don't work as well as they used to. And still, there are often no symptoms. This is, without a doubt, the most dangerous phase of developing a disease. Why? Because on the surface, everything looks normal. Your annual blood tests might come back within the standard reference ranges. An imaging scan might appear unremarkable. You might just feel a little off, but you brush it aside because you still feel mostly fine. But biologically, the system is under immense strain. Your organs are working overtime just to maintain balance, a state we call homeostasis. Your cells are operating with a much smaller margin for error. The whole system is becoming fragile. This is precisely why so many diseases seem to appear suddenly, out of nowhere. A heart problem is discovered during a routine checkup. Fatty liver disease is found by accident on an ultrasound. Blood sugar levels suddenly spike without any warning. Or cognitive decline is finally noticed when it's become too significant to ignore. But none of these things appeared suddenly. The symptoms appeared suddenly. The damage did not. The underlying problem was brewing for a very long time. The progression of nearly every chronic disease follows a predictable biological sequence. First, for one reason or another, the body's repair mechanisms are suppressed or overwhelmed. Second, cellular damage begins to accumulate faster than it can be cleared. Third, the body's compensation mechanisms kick in. masking the growing dysfunction, and finally, when the body can no longer compensate, the system breaks down, and symptoms emerge. Traditional medicine is incredibly powerful, but it often enters the picture at this final stage, the symptom stage. It's focused on managing the crisis once the alarm is already blaring. But biology has been sending out warnings much earlier. The problem is, the body is remarkably quiet during the early stages of disease. It doesn't scream, it whispers. These whispers might be things like slightly slower recovery after a workout, a subtle, nagging fatigue that you can't quite shake, sleep that just doesn't feel as restorative as it used to, a feeling of low-grade inflammation that never seems to fully resolve. Most of us ignore these signals. We dismiss them as just part of getting older or being stressed. They don't feel like a real illness, so we push through. But these are not random inconveniences. They are early biological warnings. They are the whispers from your cells that the balance between damage and repair is starting to tip in the wrong direction. This is why focusing only on symptoms and diagnosis misses the real problem. Treating the symptoms is important, of course, but it often doesn't restore the underlying repair processes. It's like constantly mopping up a leak in the ceiling without ever climbing up to fix the hole in the roof. You're managing the consequences of a long-term imbalance. To truly understand health and disease, we need to shift our perspective. Instead of waiting for a diagnosis and asking, "What disease do I have?" the more powerful and proactive question is, for how long have my body's repair systems been failing? Because when repair fails for long enough, disease becomes almost inevitable. Not as some form of punishment, and not just as a case of bad luck or bad genes. It emerges as the logical, biological outcome of a system that has been under strain for too long. Now, this isn't meant to be a message of fear. Far from it, it's a message of profound opportunity. Because if disease doesn't begin suddenly, it means we have a window of time, often a very long one, where we can intervene. We can slow it down, halt its progression, and in many cases, even prevent it long before the first symptom ever appears. We can learn to listen to the whispers before our body has to scream. In our next video, we are going to dive into one of the most misunderstood aspects of modern health: why your medical tests can look normal, even while this silent damage is happening under the surface. We'll explore why relying only on those numbers can sometimes give us a false and dangerous sense of security. Thanks for watching. If this idea shifted your perspective, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next discussion. See you then.